Hey, stop chasing closure. What are you doing? What are you chasing? What do you want? What do you want? A D end? A final kiss? Fuck them. Chase a fuck them. Get out of here. Bye. What you chasing closure for? I need closure. Closure? For what? Leave. Bye. Goodbye. You don't need it. That is the closure. Walk. Leave. What are you chasing closure for? Stop. Stop with the long paragraphs. Stop with the texting. Stop with the one more this and one more that. Stop with the back and forth. Silence is power. Shut up. Don't say anything. It drives people crazy when you're silent. It pisses people off. I do it all the time. Silence. I don't say a thing. I don't respond. I don't look nobody in the eye. I just stop. Be quiet. Stop chasing closure. You do not need closure from these people. What do you need closure for? You want a DN? What, you want them to throw roses at the stage? Like, bro, what do you want? No. Stop chasing closure. Chase a fuck up. Fuck off. Get out of here. Bye. The end. You know, what are you chasing closure for?
What most men don't realize is that chasing closure is like handing over the remote to your own feelings and letting someone else decide the volume. You spend hours, days, even weeks trying to understand why she pulled away, what she meant, or why things ended. But here's the thing, closure isn't something anyone owes you. I'm here to show you why this chase doesn't make you stronger. It makes you predictable. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic every man thinks he needs, but really doesn't, why you should never chase for closure. I'll be breaking down real scenarios, showing you clips of conversations, and analyzing them so you can see the patterns for yourself. This isn't about being cold or ignoring your feelings. It's about understanding the psychology behind why women pull away and how men get trapped in the loop of over-explaining. By the end of this video, you'll see why letting go and keeping your own power is far more effective than begging for answers you may never get. Stick around, because once you grasp this, your approach to dating and your confidence will change completely. 1. Chasing answers kills your power. Chasing answers after a woman pulls away is one of the fastest ways to lose your power without even realizing it. You think asking why or trying to get her to explain herself will make you feel better, but what it actually does is hand over control. When you keep looking for explanations, you're giving her the upper hand, even if she doesn't know she has it. Men get trapped in this loop because it feels like understanding her will somehow fix the discomfort or pain. But the truth is, closure isn't a magic wand. It's not something anyone is obligated to give you. Here's the thing. The moment you start chasing closure, you stop being unpredictable. You become readable. And let me tell you, a woman's interest thrives on intrigue, confidence, and independence, not on a man who's constantly asking for validation. This doesn't mean you don't feel hurt. It doesn't mean you don't want answers. It means you shift the power back to yourself. You decide when, how, and why you process a breakup or distance. You don't outsource your emotional control to someone else. In the next clips I'm going to show, you'll see exactly how men fall into this trap, how their texts, calls, and questions actually push women further away. Watch closely, because once you recognize the patterns, you can step out of the cycle. You'll learn that stepping back, staying grounded, and focusing on your own life is far more attractive than any explanation she could give. Chasing closure feels like the smart move, but really, it's the easiest way to hand over your power, and confidence is always more magnetic than answers. 2. She owes you nothing. Accepted understanding why she owes you nothing is one of the most important lessons in modern dating. So many men act like women are required to explain themselves, justify their feelings, or give a neat little reason for pulling away. But here's the reality. She doesn't owe you closure, and thinking she does is exactly why men get stuck chasing what they can't control. It's not about being harsh or uncaring. It's about realizing the rules of attraction and respect. When you demand answers, you cross the line from confident man to needy man, and that shift is visible in every text, every call, every hesitant question. Think about it from her perspective. When a man pushes for explanations after distance or rejection, it creates pressure. It takes away the fun, the intrigue, and the natural flow that keeps attraction alive. Women are drawn to men who are secure in themselves, who don't require external validation to feel whole. That doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means processing them internally, understanding your value, and keeping your life moving forward. Your emotional stability becomes magnetic because it signals that you are not dependent on her approval. In the clips I'll show next, you'll notice men trying to force closure and how it actually accelerates the disconnect. You'll see patterns of texts that seem innocent but communicate desperation, and I'll break down exactly why they fail. By understanding that she owes you nothing, you stop over-investing in her reactions. You start to focus on your own growth, your own confidence, and suddenly you're no longer chasing. You're observing, learning, and elevating yourself. And in dating, that shift in energy is everything. 3. Closure is an illusion.
If he cheated on you and you decided you don't want to be with a cheater, don't sit down with him and have a conversation about why did you cheat, He did. You don't want to be with a cheater. Stop doing that. Closure is often an illusion. There is no talking, no amount of conversation you can have to make yourself feel better. Space and time away from that person and realizing that they're a shitbag is... Waiting to get closure keeps you stuck. Waiting to understand why someone did a shitty thing keeps you stuck, and it gives them so much power.
Not a gift closure is one of those things men chase like it's a prize, but the truth is, it's mostly an illusion. Think about it. How many times have you replayed conversations in your head, looking for that perfect explanation, that perfect reason she pulled away? You treat it like a missing puzzle piece, when really, it's a piece that doesn't even exist. Women don't think in the same linear way men do. Sometimes, actions happen without neat explanations, and trying to pin her down with logic only frustrates you and pushes her further away. Here's the key: closure isn't about her giving you answers. It's about you creating your own understanding and moving on with clarity. When you rely on her to provide it, you're outsourcing your emotional strength. You're giving her control over how you feel. And attraction, confidence, and respect are all built on owning your emotions, not begging for someone else's permission to feel whole. In the next clips, I'll show you exactly how men fall into this trap. You'll see texts that seem harmless, calls that seem casual, but the energy behind them screams desperation. And that's exactly what lowers your value in her eyes. By observing these patterns, you'll start to recognize when you're stepping into the closure trap yourself. The fascinating part? The moment you stop chasing, the dynamics change. Women notice the shift. You stop trying to solve her behavior and start focusing on yourself, your life, your goals, your confidence. That energy? It's magnetic. Suddenly, you're no longer the man begging for understanding. You're the man she notices because he's untouchable in his own calm, grounded way. Real closure comes from within, and once you grasp that, dating starts to feel less like a chase and more like a game you actually control. 4. Letting go makes you magnetic.
The most magnetic and attractive energy that you can embody is when your nervous system is regulated and you're experiencing true inner peace at the center of your being, and you're simultaneously following your highest authenticity. When those two things are occurring in your life, you start to experience a reality of magic and wonder and infinite potentiality. Now, the one thing that blocks us from this, or should I say the main thing, because there's actually several things, the main thing that blocks us from this is attachment.
Let's talk about what happens in relationships when a man insists on closure. I once worked with a client. Let's call him Alex. He kept texting his ex, asking why she distanced herself, replaying every conversation in his head. From the outside, it looked like innocent curiosity, but what was really happening? Every message he sent chipped away at his confidence and made him predictable. Women aren't drawn to predictability in this context. They're drawn to men who hold their own energy, who don't need constant explanations to feel secure. Alex thought getting closure would help him move on, but it did the opposite. Each attempt to understand her kept him emotionally tied to someone who had already stepped away. The more he reached, the less control he had, and the more he gave her indirect power over his self-worth. Men don't realize that chasing closure isn't just about asking questions. It's about showing vulnerability in a way that signals dependence. And here's the tricky part. Even when she answers, it rarely fixes the dynamic. The moment she gives you a reason, the power subtly shifts again because you've framed your emotional state around her response. In real relationships, attraction thrives when men remain grounded and focused on themselves. Women notice when a man maintains his life, his energy, and his confidence, regardless of her actions. The more Alex stopped chasing, the more he regained respect, not just from her, but from himself. His energy became magnetic because he was no longer asking for validation. In the clips I'll show next, watch how men like Alex fall into these patterns and what happens when they step back. Understanding this is a game changer. Closure isn't a favor she gives. It's something you create internally, and once you do, your entire approach to dating shifts. 5. Focus on yourself, not her explanations. Take Daniel, for example. He was in a relationship that ended abruptly, and like many men, he thought he needed answers to feel whole. He kept calling, texting, and overanalyzing every little interaction, hoping his ex would explain why things went south. What he didn't realize was that with every attempt, he was giving away his power. She didn't owe him explanations, and by leaning on her for emotional closure, Daniel was tying his confidence to her reactions. Here's what's interesting. The men who thrive in these situations are the ones who step back. Daniel eventually realized that chasing closure wasn't helping him, it was keeping him stuck. When he shifted his focus from her to himself, something changed. He started rebuilding his life, spending time on his goals, reconnecting with friends, and improving his own confidence. Instead of asking why she left, he asked, "How can I grow from this?" That subtle shift in perspective completely changed the dynamic. Women notice this immediately. When a man stops chasing and starts prioritizing himself, it signals strength, self-respect, and independence. Daniel's ex started seeing him differently, not because he manipulated her, but because he was no longer dependent on her explanations or validation. His energy changed, and with it, the way he showed up in dating situations changed too. This is the key takeaway. Closure isn't something someone else hands to you. It's something you create by taking control of your own life and emotions. Focusing on your growth, your confidence, and your purpose is infinitely more attractive than replaying old conversations or demanding explanations. Real power comes from within, and when you embrace that, your relationships, past, present, or future, shift entirely in your favor. Chasing closure keeps you stuck, predictable, and tied to someone else's decisions. Real confidence comes from stepping back, taking control of your emotions, and focusing on your own life. Women notice when a man is grounded, independent, and untouchable in his energy. Closure isn't something she gives, it's something you create within yourself. The more you focus on growth, self-respect, and your own purpose, the more magnetic you become. Let go of the need for explanations, trust your own strength, and watch how your relationships and your confidence transform. Power starts with you, not her.